Hey friends, it's Tuesday, which means it's time for a lesson. This week we are starting work on the fingerstyle arrangement of Mr. Sandman that I put up for y'all. We're just going to be working on the first 8 bars this week to give you a little bit. We're going to take about 4 weeks to get through this entire piece in little itty bitty pieces so that we can all play it. As always, if you miss any of the lesson, just shoot me a message. I'll send you a copy of it. If you don't have the song sheet yet, the entire tab is up on my website. The link's in the bio. And I'm going to walk you through this. So you're probably familiar with this song. If you're not, check out my last video. I did the entire arrangement there. So we're starting out with the intro part this week. Now it's the first 4 bars, and it's probably the most iconic part of the song. It goes a little something like this. So these are the first 4 bars. This is half of what we're going to be working on today. So there's really only 4 chords in this first part, and they're likely ones that you already know. But before we get into the finger picking aspect of this, I just want to go over the basic chords. So we're starting on a C, and it's a major 7th, which if you're familiar with the regular old C chord right here, all it's going to be is you're going to play with your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string. Everything else is open. That's your C major 7th chord, all right? And then from there, we're going to A minor 7th, which is everyone's favorite chord on this tiny instrument because it goes a little something like this. All open, nothing else to do, all right? And after that, we're going to a D minor 7th chord, but we're gonna have a slight little variation in here. We're gonna add a G in this. So the way you're gonna voice this 3rd chord is it's gonna be an open G string, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of your C string, 1st finger on the 1st fret on that F on your E string, and then open A. So it'll sound like this. All right? And then we're going to a G7th chord, which you likely know. So the 1st finger's going to stay exactly where it is, the 2nd finger's going to stay exactly where it is, and your 3rd finger's just going to go on the 2nd fret of your A string here. So this chord cycle repeats again. So we're going to play this twice in a row. So before you get too deep into this and try the finger picking part, let's just strum through these chords. It's going to be 2 beats a piece. So it's going to sound like this. So it's going to be C major 7th to A minor 7th to that funky D minor 7th to G7th. And we'll repeat that again. All right, so if you can do that for the first 4 bars, that's all that the left hand is doing this entire time. So once you are comfortable with that, and feel free to take a day or so to get used to those chords and have them under your fingers before you throw in the right hand, which is what gets a little confusing. So we're going to do exactly what we did, but we're going to finger pick this. So for our purposes for this, each finger is going to get assigned a string. We're not going to do anything fancy on this. So if you look at the tab, anything that's on the G string, we're going to play with our thumb. Anything on the C string, with our 1st finger. Anything on the E string, 2nd finger or middle finger. And then your ring finger or 3rd finger is going to play anything on the A string. So this first little section here, remember we're over the C major 7th chord here. In the beginning, it's going to be C string, E string, G string, A string. All right, that's our first part. So play that real slow. All right, note the left hand's not doing anything. All the work's in the right hand here. And then we're swapping over. All you're going to do is pick that up. So we're on our A minor 7th chord. And you're going to play the A string again, and the G string, and then the E and the C. So it's the same exact thing backwards. So this is the first bar of the song, and then it's going to repeat again in a minute. So we're already like halfway there. So here's the first part. So it's 1st finger, 2nd finger, thumb, 3rd finger, 3rd finger, thumb, 2nd, 1st. That's our first bar of the song. Real slowly, the entire first bar goes like this. All right. It's the first bar, and then we're going to go over to that D minor 7th with the added G in there. So you'll put this down, and you're going to repeat the same exact pattern with your right hand that we just did. All right, so first finger, second finger, thumb, third finger. All right, sorry, we're going to a third fret there. Sorry about that. To the third fret, and then your G7th chord, you just pluck it right there, and then strum the entire chord. So the fingering for the first 4 notes is the same as the first bar, and then strum it. All right, so the first 2 bars are gonna sound like this, nice and slow. And strum the whole chord. Now we're gonna repeat that again. The third bar is the same as the first. We already learned that part. The 4th bar here is almost identical, except we're not going to strum the chord at the end. We're going to have a pickup. So I'm going to play right up until that first group of 8th notes leading into the A section. It's going to sound like this. So these are the first 4 bars of the song. We're going to repeat that. We're not going to strum it now. Now that we're done that part, we're going to do the pickup into the first part. And after we play these 2 notes, we're going to land on the same exact chord that we started the song on, that C major 7th. So what we're going to do is we're going to play our G string, and then our A string, and then our C major 7th chords. This pickup. All right? And as soon as we play that, we're going to play that chord twice. And on the second down strum, we're then going to lift this up. And the next 2 bars are going to be a C6th chord, which is exactly what the ukulele is tuned to, so it's just open strings. So I'm going to run through these next 2 bars a little bit fast, and then we'll slow it down and get the strumming pattern. So our pickup. Note that my left hand's not really doing anything. It's just the 1 note, and then we're picking it up. Now our strumming pattern here, if we look at it, these notes that aren't connected, these ones are called quarter notes. Whenever we see one of these, we're just going to do a down strum and nothing else. All right? And it's going to be 1 beat. And for this second part here, all these connected notes, the strumming pattern for this is going to be down, up, down, up, down, up. Every time that you see it, it's going to be exactly the same. And those are going to be 8th notes, so it's going to be twice the speed. So this first note's a quarter, the rest are 8th notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and all right, and these are swung 8th notes. And then the second part here, we have a quarter note, and then 4 8th notes, and then another quarter note. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. All right. So here's those first 2 bars of the actual melody. Now I'm going to say the strumming pattern while I play it this time, so you can follow along. I'll do it nice and slow. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. All right? So those are our first 2 bars of the actual melody. Now we only have 2 more bars left to learn here, and that's it for this week, and then you get to work. All right? So after we play this C6th chord, we're going to go to a B dominant 7th chord. So it's going to look like this. You're going to take your finger and bar right across the 2nd fret there, and then your second finger is going to go on the 3rd fret of your C string. All right? And you'll see this first B7th bar here, right here, is all quarter notes, which means all down strums. So 4 down strums in the bar. Now the 3rd beat, we're going to take this whole chord voicing and just move it down 1 fret. And move it right back up. So here's the 7th bar that we're working on. So it's B7th, down a half step, 1 fret. Again, it's like this, so it's all downstrokes. All right? So here's those first 3 bars of the A section of the tune, nice and slow. So we're starting on that C major 7th, and then down to a B7th. downstrokes. All right, and then this next bar, we're going to get something a little bit tricky in here. We've worked on triplet strokes before in previous lessons. If you're not familiar with them, shoot me a message. I'll send you the video on how to address triplets, which are groups of 3 notes. So you see that this bar starts off with 4 eighth notes, right? So down, up, but then we have this triplet strum in here. So we're going to go down with our first finger, down with our thumb, then up with our first finger, and then right back down, and that's going to be a quarter note. So it'll sound like this. All right, let me play that again nice and slow. So it's 1 and 2 and triplet 4. All right. Again, here's the 8th bar. Really, really slow. All right. So I'm going to play just these first 8 bars of the song. This is all I want you to work on this week. And next week, tune in again, and we're going to go over the next 12 bars of the song and eventually get through this. Please post your progress, tag me, and let's work through it. And if you have any questions, always reach out with an email. If you missed any of the lesson or you want to save it for later, I'm going to put it both in my highlights and upload it to YouTube so you can watch it anytime you like throughout the week. So here's the first 8 bars of the tune that we're working on this week. This is Mr. Sandman. And that's it for this week. Any questions, shoot me a message. Have a good week, everyone.